All right. Well, thank you guys for hopping on the team call tonight. Woo woo. We got Jarel in the house.
What's up?
um, so obviously it's been on our heart to start doing these team calls and bring in some more just what's working for people, what's been, how people have been expanding their network and rocking their business and everything. And Jarrell has done an amazing job just really growing a massive team. And so I thought he would have, not I thought, I know he would have motivation to spit out. I was just telling him, I'm like, you just flow. He's like, what do you want me to talk about? I'm like, well, I was like, you just got this thing where you flow. So just go with it. But there's a few things here that I want to let you guys know. We are coming together as a bigger team as well to do something really exciting that I think is going to be a big hit for everyone. It's still in the works. Right now, there's that cash for the holidays and everything, but it's going to be a lot more than that. So keep your guys' eye out on that. Like, we're really pulling together. We just got off a call with the leaders and everything of that. But from what it's sounding like is that this is going to be hitting a whole different market of people to help us grow the business and everything and help other people become financially, have that financial freedom and stuff. And I guess a lot of things that we've been talking about is that like our Papa uplines even think that it's starting to get saturated with the whole health and fitness. So we're like, how can we utilize growing a team, maybe possibly kind of shifting away from the health and fitness and yet still growing a team and talking about our biggest thing of personal development and volume and getting technical with some things. So this will be kind of interesting to see how this plays out. So watch out for that. What else do I got to say here? We will have a couple business opportunity calls here this month, at least one this month. So keep an eye out. We haven't picked a date yet, but we were doing them every single week and then kind of slowed down a little bit. So watch out for those. Let's see here. All right. Well, I'm just going to have Jarrell hit it off. He can tell a little bit about his story, how he, got into this and what's been working for him and just kind of let it flow. And then if any of you guys have any questions, feel free to hop on and chit chat it out or write it out in the comments. Otherwise, I'll hop on and be like, wait, talk about that. So he's been rocking it out.
All right. I will get started and we will see where the Lord takes my words. I initially got started. There was literally a day where we were doing T25, my wife and I, and we've seen the same commercial over and over and over again about Shakeology, and we ignored it every single time. And we're like, that stuff's way too expensive. Who in their right mind would get that? I can just get some protein from Sam's Club and I can get some, healthy stuff and make my own. And I did that for like a solid 5 to 6 months. And it tasted horrible. I did not get any better at making it. It didn't really give me any kind of boost of energy or anything. I felt nothing really different. But I kept drinking it and telling myself I was doing something good for me. So that was what I was doing. But, after feeling exhausted after one time, Christine and I were both huffing and puffing at the end of this workout. And we're like, it's only 25 minutes. Like, we should not be halfway dead after these workouts like this. Like, we're in decent shape. It's not that bad. And we're like, what is wrong with us that we just don't have the energy to do this? And we saw that commercial again. And we just kept seeing and hearing the same testimonials. And we're like, she looked at me and I looked at her. We're both exhausted. And we go, she goes, let's just try the damn shake already. And I'm like, fine, let's do it. So we found it, and being our stubborn selves, we didn't go to the website or anything. Christine, fished around on eBay for it, which is like totally not allowed now, and was super ill-advised because eventually it came and bit us in the butt. We got like an old bag of Shakeology, which was awful. My mom she can attest to that. She's because she had some of it too. But we got started with it, and we felt the difference immediately, and we needed more. And there was a point in time I saw what it was doing for me. I felt what it was doing for me, and then I saw what it was doing for Christine, and she was, her workouts no longer were just her going to work. She would come in sometimes and be like, work was my workout today. I'm too tired, and I'm not doing that workout, and that was it. But after drinking the Shakeology, she was able to work out every single day. She would come in from a 12-hour shift and go straight down in the basement and work out, and it was amazing. And so the next thing that happened was my mom had high blood pressure, and I've already lost one parent, and I didn't like the way I felt when I heard her talking about the blood pressure, and I felt kind of helpless. And the only thing I could think of was, well, this shake, they say something about blood pressure in this shake. So we gave her our bag, and we said, Merry Christmas, drink this. And she did. And that blood pressure I think it was about 2 weeks before, you started to really see that her blood pressure had come down, and she felt the effects, I think, even more immediately than that. And it was at a point where she's like, how do I get more of this? This stuff is good. And I'm like, we're trying to find it ourselves. We can't find it, on eBay or anything. She's like, well, do you get a discount on the website, this coach discount thing? And I said, oh, okay. She's like, why don't you just become a coach and I'll get it from you? And I was like, okay, we need the discount anyway. And so I did the whole coach discount, and little did I know, Ashton was praying at the same time for a business builder, a person of faith who could help, her mission. Our missions kind of lined up beautifully. It was a true act of God, and I can say this because I guarantee you, I remember the first name of the guy. My coach was John something. I don't know what the last name was, but it said your coach is John so and so. I know it was a guy. And
hopefully it wasn't Walls.
Maybe it could have been, but it said John something, and I hit submit, and then everything wiped out, and I had to re-enter all of my information, and this time it said your coach is Ashton Mayer, and I was like, okay. I didn't think anything of it. I went ahead and I didn't care that it changed. I was like, I don't know who either of these people are, whatever, and I submitted it, and I just wanted to shake, and I got contacted by Ashton, and she said, well, what do you want this to be? And I'm like, what is this? What are you talking about? She's like, well, you signed up for the coach discount. Are you just trying to get like a discount on your shake? And I was like, yeah. She's like, well, there's different kind of coaches. And she sent me like this picture of these different kind of coaches. And I really liked what it said about the business builder being all in and helping other people to change their lives. I'm like, that's what I'm doing already anyway. Like, that's what I have people over my house to work out. I made them my crappy shakes before I discovered Shakeology. I did it. I was already doing it. So I'm like, well, yeah, I want to do that. And I had previously that night before I became a coach, I prayed. I said, God, just show me where you want me to be, what I need to do. Because I didn't know what I was supposed to do. I quit the plant. I'd been laid off from the airport. I felt useless. I felt like I was just a fixture in my own home, and I wasn't being of use, especially with all the things that I know I'm capable of doing. I felt useless. And that was when I got that message that the serenity prayer. And it was, God grant me the serenity to accept the things I cannot change, the courage to change the things I can, and the wisdom to know the difference. And I was like, okay, I can't control being laid off. I can't control that I need to be at home right now. I can control how I am at home. I can control how I father my children. I can control how I take care of myself. And that coach opportunity, I said, I can control this. So that was what led to me being a coach and being all in. And it still at that point wasn't about building a business. It still wasn't about earning an income of this or that. It was just I had people in mind that I really, really wanted to help feel the way I felt and experience the same thing my mom experienced. So once I saw that it helped with blood pressure that way, everybody that I knew who was on blood pressure meds, which is quite a few people. I thought they could use this. They could use this. This person could use this. Anyone who had kids, I thought they could use this. I see Christine doing it. She's amazing. Anyone who was working tireless hours, I thought they could use this. And it wasn't really about making an income or earning an income. It was just about, it would be a disservice to these people if I didn't share this with them. It's like I watched an awesome movie and I told no one about it. We all share, great experiences. When we have them, we share them with other people because we want them to have that same experience. That's what this is I just want other people to experience what I experienced and what I continue to see other people experience. And it turns out that I wasn't the only one that felt that way. My mom felt that way. Christine felt that way. My sisters felt that way. And somehow, by the grace of God, my whole family that's who I'm in business with. Those are my partners, my family. We build this together. We're building this together. And since Summit, if you haven't been to Summit, first of all, go. Go. It will change your whole belief of what this can be. However big you believe it can be, you'll see it can be bigger. However inspirational you believe it is, it's even more inspiring. However motivated you are, you'll be even more motivated after this. Summit really put things in perspective for our whole family, I think. It was, first of all, like another family vacation. It was a great experience. I got to see, we shed tears together. We worked out together. We sweated together. You guys all got to finally meet my family, which and my family got to meet my, Believe to Achieve family, my Elevation Nation family, which was awesome. It was like you guys already knew each other anyway.
Right.
It's been a dream come true, really. There isn't anything that can happen in my life that can steal the joy that this has brought to my life. There's nothing. I don't think that I could have chosen a better path than the one that God put me on, which makes sense because, well, he's God. So, and as far as being I like that you put on fire with Jarel, because there are steps to getting on fire. You don't just come out of the gate flaming hot. That's not how it works, maybe sometimes for some people, but the way I see it is, and this is, I almost wanted to coin this, what I'm about to say. I haven't said it to a lot of people, but faith over fear. When you do that over and over again, when you put your faith over your fear, in spite of the fear, no matter how great the fear, if you continue to put your faith over your fear, you'll do that until you realize your faith is on fire. And that is what makes the whole change happen. That's where the growth starts. That's where things start to really click and you start to really see what it is you've been putting your faith over your fear for. At a certain point, you don't see it as clearly as you do after you've taken the steps. You don't know where that foot is going to land all the time, but in faith, you take that step and wow, where it lands, you know that this is meant to be. It's just fallen into place in such a great way. And I'm excited to continue to build locally. Never downplay just meeting people and talking to them. That's the most genuine form of interaction. I know we're all like social media driven, and that's how you can meet more and more people. And I understand that as well. But it's just something about running into somebody at the grocery store or, talking to somebody at the PTO meeting or something like that, and just interacting with them, not to get them started on anything, but just to interact with them and be a bright spot in their day. And you never know where that kind of thing leads to. But, at the end of the day, if your goal is to just pour into other people and brighten their day, you will have done that just by meeting them and talking with them and saying hi to them and smiling at them. if that's your goal, it lines up perfectly with what coaches do. This is what we do. We're just lights for other people's lives, to brighten other people's lives. And that's my goal. That's my intention. That's what I see my family do. That's what I see you do, Ashton. It's a selfless kind of servitude, but it's also cool because Beachbody's like, we see you, we'll pay you. Like, it's out of nowhere that they provide you with some sort of income, and it's such a blessing that there's a company that does that. Even though this is something that we'd all do for free. I was doing it for free.
Yeah, that's awesome. I'm going to hop into a question here first, and then we'll continue to rock this out and everything. So, that's okay. Let me hit this question first. So, we know that you like brought in your whole family, like your whole family just like poured into this, which is awesome. And I think everyone, like I know even me, like my dad's a discount coach. He drinks Shakeology. And I'm like, Dad, I'm like, you just got this influence. Like seriously, if he would go up to someone and be like, you got to drink it. Why? Because it does your body good. Like he could totally just say that. And I swear everyone is just intimidated. My dad's a big dude, like, and he was like a bouncer back in the day. And so they would just listen to him. They'd be like, okay. I'm like, Dad, you need to just start telling people to start drinking this shake. And if they tell you why, just tell them because it will do them good. I didn't really say that to him. But anyways, so I love it because he supports it and stuff like that. And he likes to recover and everything as well, too. But now, do you have any family members that were kind of hesitant about joining, or they weren't really even sure about the whole working out or the Shakeology and stuff, where they didn't jump into it, that like for those that have family members that are like, yeah, nope, that's your thing, not my thing, just to kind of, if you do, tell us a story, and if so, what pushed them to get going?
Yes, I've had the whole spectrum of the family members. I've had them be super supportive, which is like my immediate family. They were like, "Oh, you think it's good?" And they know who I am, and they know what I'm about. They know it's not a, "Oh, what are you trying to get out of me?" kind of thing. And they were about it. They got it immediately and began to use it. I have family members who still resist to this day. And I still, I talk to them from time to time. I mention this, and then they say, well, they're doing their own thing. And I go, okay, let me, I'll be checking in on you to see how it's going. 'Cause I'm never going to stop. I'm not going to let you, let yourself off the hook and say, oh, I tried, something and it didn't work. Well, it's time to try something else, and I've had family members who, one of the main things that really got me fired up and really pushing harder at this was that there was I have my cousin and best friend who I tried to get to start this. I tried to get him for years, even on family vacations. My mom would give him, Shakeology. He stayed in her, in her room. She would give him, Shako for that week, and he would drink it, and he liked it. And he was a car salesman and an insurance salesman, so he always felt like he was getting pitched something, and I think that he felt that way about what I was telling him about. And I always backed off a little bit, and I didn't want to offend him or anything, and I backed off, and I would say something, and then I would back off. And then it got to the point where one day I just was very blunt with him, and I said, "Look, man, I really care about you, and I'm tired of this, back and forth. You know me, you know who I am. We've known each other our whole lives. What are you wasting time for? I see you have like a cupboard full of supplements that are trash, that you kind of use and don't really use. I'm like, why are you giving GNC the benefit of the doubt, and I'm your brother, I'm your cousin, like." And he's like, wow, Jay, you're right. He's like, all right, man, I'll get started next month. And he passed away that month before. And so he never got started. And from that point on, I find my Devin in everyone I talk to. They may not be Devin to me, but they are to someone. And if I don't approach them with the same bluntness, not rude, I make sure everybody knows that I'm coming from a place of love and care. And so sometimes I'm going to say things that you might not like, but it's not because I don't love you. It's because I do love you, because I see, my cousin in you. I see my mom in you. I see my wife in you. And that's the way I approach people. That's probably why I don't talk to as many people as some of the other coaches, because I really, really pour into the people I'm talking to. So I don't do like a large volume invites. I haven't mastered being able to do that and still have the same kind of quality and care that I do with the people I talk to now. But that's something that really drove me, was not saying that I could have saved his life or anything, but I can honestly say I did not do my best to get him started. And I don't ever want to have to say that again about anyone that I try to get started with this. So that's what motivates me. That's what drives me now. That's what will always drive me. I'll always see a little bit of Devin in everybody I talk to. And I think that we can all relate to that. I think we all have loved ones who have, suffered either a loss or suffered themselves in a way that could have been prevented, could have been, prevented if we caught it soon enough. Or maybe we can turn back the hands of time. My mom is in her 60s and says she feels better than she felt in her 40s. So it's not a such thing as, oh man, this is just how it is getting old or aging. Like, no, it's not. There's a quality of life that we deserve, that we've been blessed with. And it's not something that we fight hard enough for. We just don't. And it's because we let the circumstances of this world keep us from doing that. And as a coach, it's my job to not let people do that. You can still be a great father, a great mother, a great husband, a great wife, a great cousin, a great brother, sister. You can still do all those things, and you can still provide, but you don't have to sacrifice your own life to do it. You don't have to work yourself to death. So that's one of the like I said, a whole spectrum of relatives. I have relatives now who I literally have. I'll tell you another one. I have one who he says, I need to do something. I got to change something, and he's on meds. And I meet up with him, and this is why sometimes I go play basketball, is because I like going back and playing basketball with some of these guys, because they see the difference in the progress I've made in my own health journey, and they go, man, what are you doing? And I tell them, and then they don't want any part of it, and it doesn't make any sense to me. So this cousin, he didn't want to do this, and I let it go. But then I saw him again, and I talked to him again, and I said, I heard you said you needed to do something. He said, oh yeah, I've started. I'm going to start working out next week, and I started watching my portions. And I said, that's the same thing you did last time you got motivated to get started on something. And he said, yeah, but I'm more motivated now. And I said, that doesn't make any sense, cuz you're more motivated now. That's great. But you can't keep hopping in the same busted vehicle to try and achieve this goal that you want to achieve. You got to do something different. You have to try something that will work. He said, no, man, we all have different stuff that works for us. I said, I agree. I got it. I understand. I said, but if I wanted to become a great landscaper, and I said, you know what, I'm going to go out and become the best landscaper ever. And then I go out and all I have is, shears, and I go try to mow my first lawn. I'm going to get halfway through that lawn before I go, this is terrible. I quit. And I quit. And then let's say I get motivated 2 weeks later. You know what? I'm going to give it another go. I'm more motivated now. I'm going to go out with the same shears, and I'm going to try and mow the lawn again with the same shears. Guess what's going to happen? I'm probably not going to continue because I have not improved my tools. You have to have the right set of tools. You have to know if it didn't work before, having more motivation, but the same, wrong tools that didn't work for you last time is not going to do yourself any justice. You're wasting motivation. You're wasting inspiration. Give yourself a proper vehicle. And this time he goes, whoa, that made so much sense. And I had no clue that would resonate with him, but he said it made so much sense. And he goes, I'm going to think about it. That made way too much sense. And so it's a constant journey. There's always going to be family or whomever, people who have objections, people who don't see the picture as clearly as you do, because they haven't had their first shake. They haven't had it for a week. They haven't had it for a month. They haven't been surrounded by this awesome community of people who just pour belief into you until you're able to believe in yourself. They don't know what that's like. And so it's our job to show them. That's why God put us in this space, to be that for other people. So I would say, yes, it's my family that I started with. But as Faith Over Fear fam knows, and I see them in here, if you get started and you become a part of Faith Over Fear family, you are family. And I know you feel the same way about Believe to Achieve family. And that's what it's about. I see them all the same. I love them. Like I said, I see a little bit of Deb in everybody. I love when people, they're like, what do you mean you love me? I'm like, I love you. I care about you. I'm not telling you this because I want to hit a benchmark or I want to hit a quota or I really like selling, this or that. Like, I could care less about that stuff. I'm telling you this because I believe it can really change. That could happen versus the best that could happen. Worst that could happen, you get started. You have your shake for a month. You think it did nothing for you. You send back your empty bag. No harm, no foul. Everything is the same as it was before the month before. But what's the best that could happen? It could change your freaking life like it did for me, for my family, and for so many other people I know. That's worth a try. And that's how I come at people. I speak straight from my heart. I won't say I don't pull punches. I am tactful with how direct I am. And I make sure that people know that it's coming straight from my heart, straight from my soul. It's all love. I'm not saying this because I don't like you. I'm not saying this because I want to be mean. I'm saying it because I've been where you are, and I know someone who's been where you are, and I've seen that this has changed their life, and you deserve that too.
Yay. Okay. So, and that was good. That was so good. And I think that's something that, with the whole faith over fear and everything, like when you're talking about it, and that's the same way with people. I'm like, why wouldn't I want to give this to everyone? Why do I even care what people are going to think? Like, and that's why I spit off that motivation in the team page today was I'm just like, you guys, cancer, 95% of it is preventable. Like, that's a huge number. It's not 50-50. 95% of cancers are preventable. And not only cancers, but then you have those people who are depressed, have so much anxiety and all of that stuff. People that feel like they're not important, feel like they don't have a purpose, feel like they don't fit in anywhere, feel like there's nobody there that will support them and care for them and love them. And this is what the community has to offer and bring. It's not just health and fitness. And that's what we're trying to pull together with our big team, with Jeff and Jason and everything. We want to show people how much that they can just grow in their life and how we can love them and help them build confidence in themselves so that they can take themselves to the next level. So, like, when you think about that, this isn't just about health or fitness. This is so much more than that. And that's where these invites that if you have an icky feeling about inviting, you're actually probably doing it because, or it's, I mean, you're probably doing it because you're right. Like, like you care about people. And so you're like, oh, am I saying this the right way? So it's a normal feeling. But what you need to do is you need to do the whole 5-second rule, count down 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. I'm going to invite. And if you listen to the National Wake Up Call, she had just nuggets upon nuggets with the peanut butter and jelly and stuff like that. But that's so important, is you can take your inviting to the next level by using your voice. You don't have to just copy and paste. And I do that a lot. So I'll have 3 to 5 minutes on Instagram videos suck, just saying. This 15 seconds is not a long time. Like, that does nothing for me. So, but you can do the voice memos, or you can do a video. And I remember someone when they're like, thanks for sending me a video, because I really thought you were like a fake person. Like they didn't think my account was real or something and stuff like that. Like, or people have thanked me. They're like, thank you so much for taking your time out of your day to like, talk to me. So, and I'm like, yeah, like, nope, like, yeah, of course. So, now in talking about all of that, were there times that you had this fear of inviting people, or of like, it doesn't matter if it was to the challenge or to the team or whatever, but when you had fear, what helped you overcome it? And what do you think has been the best personal development for kind of getting over that fear?
One of the first personal development books that I read was, well, not read. I did. It was audio, because kids don't just let you read. So I did Audible, and it was Go for No, and it painted a picture of. I don't want to give away the book. Check it out if you haven't. But it kind of shows you, the difference in where you could be versus where you. Well, it was the difference in where you are, and it showed this projection where if you go for no, this is where you could be. And it was so powerful in the book, because this guy got to see where he could be, and he got back to where he is in the current state, and he saw that vision, and that was what drove him actually to it. And for me, it was like, well, vision is absolutely necessary. Not all of us get to like literally see it like he did in the book. He got to literally, see where he lived, how it was, where his life had gotten to and how it got there, what he'd done. He saw all these successful things. If we could all venture into the future and see where we, ultimately would be if we went after our goals relentlessly the way that we should. If we went after them, like, what would you do if you knew without a doubt you could not fail? What would you do? You would go for it, right? So if I saw exactly where I could be, and then I got to the point where all right, I'm here now. How do I get back over there? I'm going to do everything I can to get back over there. I know it happens, so I got to keep going. I know it happens, and that's how sure we have to be of where we want to go. So I guess the main thing for me was knowing where I want to go, and being able to visualize where I want to go. And so I wrote it out. I typed it out. I made changes to it. I've added things to it. There's stuff I want to do. It's funny because in the beginning I wrote that I want to do stuff in the community. And just as sure as I said that, here we are, Faith Over Fear. Our focus is to build locally here in Michigan. We want to like change the whole state of Michigan, and that vision was, 3 years ago I said that, and now we're actually doing it. We're actually starting to have get-togethers where we, invite people. We're talking about having our own Super Saturday because there's never one near us. You have to have a vision, and it has to be something that really resonates with you. So I would say, really, really figure out where it is you want to go, and have a vision as clear as the one that guy had, and go for no. I mean, he literally was in his vision. He got to experience where his life had taken him, and that's so powerful. We should all try and sit in our vision. It should be something that just rolls off of your tongue. My vision is more powerful than any bill I have now, than any debt that I may have now. It's more powerful than any obstacle that I'll encounter now. My vision is already there. I'm just the man walking to it. Um, God's already put it in my head. Why would he give me that vision if not to reach it? So I'm just people always ask me, how you doing? I said, I'm just a man walking the path. I'm just walking the path, and I'm walking it faithfully, regardless of whatever fears I may have. You got to keep having enough faith to keep taking one step at a time toward your vision.
Nice. Okay, so while I'm thinking of a couple more questions here, there's a couple more I want to hit on. Do you guys have any questions as far as things go? Feel free to spit them out here. I mean, don't be shy. Yay.
I don't have any questions, but can you all hear me?
Yes.
Yes.
Okay. I don't have any questions, but I did want to just kind of, I guess, agree with Jarel that, like you said, if you haven't been to the summit is a great thing to go to, because, I mean, going to the summit and hearing the different stories of how, people got started on their health and fitness journey, and then in the business and everything, it just made it so more real and impactful. And just knowing, oh my gosh, I could be the reason that someone's really their life is saved, or that you help to prevent, an illness that could be in their path, or just by inviting them, just by offering this to them. And just like Jarrell said, yeah, we shared tears, because it was just, you see those on infomercials on television about the different, weight loss programs and things like that, and you hear the stories, but it doesn't really hit until, when I saw people on the stage and hear their journey and where they were and where they are now, is just, it is so touching. And it's like, okay, yes. And I think about that, and I do think about my cousin, but I think about, we don't know what next month brings. We don't know what next week brings. We don't know what's ahead. So, I mean, there is a certain urgency to, do something or about your health. And then so many people, I know myself, even with just doctor's appointments, you take care of the kids, you make sure they go for their annual physical, they go for their dental cleanings, and they do this. But a lot of times, parents, they put themselves on the back burner because, oh, I can go later, or I can do this later. But sometimes there is no later, or what you're doing today is gonna give you more tomorrow. So yeah, that summit really, really kind of really put into perspective how much this is, our responsibility. And so I just continue to try to keep doing more, and I need to do more. I need to get really kind of buckle down with it. I didn't really have any, I can't think of a question. I think of one later.
That's
Thank you.
that's it. And that goes to that, being able to control what you can control. Like you said, you don't know if there is a tomorrow. Like, you have no control over that. I have
Right.
I made a Transformation Tuesday post today, and a
Mm-hmm.
guy messaged me, and he goes, hey, what do you do? And I said, I'm a health and fitness coach. You know, I've been on a journey of my own, and it's been one that, you know, thankfully has been a really great one. Um, as you can see from the from the pictures, I said, but I help people to have a journey like mine. Well, not like mine identically, but I like a successful journey with the same tools that I use. And he goes, wow, that sounds awesome. He goes, yeah, I'm gonna need to probably talk to you sometime. And I said, well, I'm here now. You can talk to me now if you want. When is sometime? And he goes, oh, I'm sorry, I'm at work. I meant later today. I said, oh, okay. Well, here's my number. You know, feel free to call me anytime. I'm always here. I'm a firm believer of there's no time like the present. So whenever you're free, I'm free. And he said, wow, man, that's really great. And it's like, well, I can't control when sometime is. I can control if I talk to you right now. And that's what that's what I attempted to do. And apparently that really made a really great impact on him, that I was willing to talk to him right then and there. But that's, you know, we're here to serve people. A lot of us have servers hearts, and I don't think that's by accident. I think it's by design. Um, that's why we probably at one point or another weren't taking as good a care of ourselves as we should have been, because we have servers hearts. We're always worried about other people, taking care of other people. And when a person who has a service heart is finds a way to be able to continue to take care of those other people and themselves, my gosh, that's like a myth. Like, it's a whole, what, you wait, you mean I can take care of me and still do all the stuff I do? Yeah, you can. You don't have to sacrifice yourself. And I think I just love what we do. I love what we do. It's not something that comes easy all the time, but my gosh, when you get other people to see the potential of what they can achieve, there's no feeling like that. Especially when it's people that you so strongly care about. Um, and it's inevitable that you'll end up caring about those people that you're talking to. You just can't help it.
Yeah, that's good. And just to hit on that point too, I mean, I'll squirrel off here for one moment, but at our service, our pastor was talking and everything about how he was a guest speaker at the church or he was a guest speaker at this church that he was going to. So he was out of town. He was at at the hotel that they were staying at or whatever. And I guess it's like a little lobby and whatnot. And he went down and started talking to the person, the desk person or whatever. And of course started talking about, what's your faith look like and stuff, or I don't remember how he put it, but this guy didn't want to talk about it. And because he told him he didn't want to talk about it, he's like, I don't want to talk about that. But what he was thinking in his head too was, I don't want to talk about this either. Like, he was bluntly honest with us that he wasn't going to him with a heart to care for him and how Christ could impact him at that moment. He was caring about how his impact would look like, since he's a man of God. And he was like, I got to make an impact on this community, and maybe it'll help the tithing out or whatever for it. Like, he was completely honest. He's like, I'm just getting real and honest. He was like, it was just a moment in time. And not that, obviously he's not like that all the time, but at that moment he was just trying to make an impact for himself on there, versus really putting his heart into serving that person and understanding, okay, hey, so that's sometimes things that we have to, okay, why am I reaching out to this person? Am I reaching out to them because how will this benefit them? And if we ask ourselves how this is going to benefit someone, there is some way, somehow, some shape, some form that this will benefit someone. Everybody needs to work on their health and fitness. And if they don't want to do it with Beachbody, that's fine. Got it. Okay. Well,
I said, do something though.
right. If you went up and told someone that you'd give them an extra $100 a week, who would deny that? Just saying. So sometimes we think about the big picture too, to where we're not really letting them know, like, hey, what would an extra $100 a week do for you and your family? I mean, that's a bill right there. You know, that's something, some groceries for a family. That's something that, I mean, even $20, you know, like that's something that we need to start sharing, even these little things, because I think sometimes we're like, well, I don't want to, I mean, how can I compare to those that are making $10,000 a week with this business or making $1 million a year? Like, how can I even, no, you've got something to offer. And that's the best part of this too, is that if they don't want to do Beachbody, you have the ability to still, you have to be cautious with your time, but you have the ability to be like, hey, you know what? If you don't want to do Beachbody, you know what? Join our group. Check out our group. We did a free group the whole time. Like I always had a free group. It was a community group that was set up. It was a complete free group and I added value into it. I even Googled stuff, like got out tips, did motivation stuff. I had a set schedule. I went on Facebook and scheduled out my post. Back then we had to do it with Hootsuite. Thank you now, Facebook updates, and we can do it right through Facebook. So people were getting poured into and people were motivating one another. Well, then here's these people that are doing Beachbody posting about their shake or something. And soon enough, they understood that it's more than just the whole Beachbody thing. It's the community again, like that community, that tribe where we're loving one another and sharing our experiences and hearing their story and realizing, wow, you're struggling with this too. I am too. Like, how can we get through this and past that? And that's where we need to remember that we're valuable and that we should never put a price tag on us. So the minute that we start to think, you know, $160 is insane, or like, I know that this person can't afford this, you have to understand that they're getting they get you and your time and everything else that comes with that. And that is so valuable because you can't put a price tag on it. And, you know, and you'll have people, I know for me, I'll have people that want my attention, and it's usually not in a good way. I'll get messages, why aren't you responding back to me? Okay, dude, because I don't have 4 kids that I like run. And I'm telling you, I swear these are fake accounts and it's just an attack from the enemy. And I'm like, dude, Zayden, you're under my feet. Like, really? Come on now. I got time for you. And then I brought up the point. I should read it. You guys would laugh hysterically because I was like, I'm just a single mom of 4 who is running towards the Lord and her plans. I was like, and I have it written up on my board. If it doesn't serve my God, my family, my team, or my business, then I don't care. So he was like, well, what if I was sent from the Lord to give you a message or something? And I'm like, all right, my spirit's already taken this in that you're not. So, but anyways, yeah, it's so good. Like, it really is amazing what this can do. And like, I encourage you to start, if you're not inviting other people who aren't doing Beachbody, and you can do 2 groups. I used to run a community group and then I had a challenge group, and you could run a community group. Again, obviously they're not getting as much, you know, following up, I don't think, as the other people. Because again, it's pay attention to your time. Don't overload yourself, but you have that ability to do that, because we had a lot of people coming from that. That's how Lindsay and I started our whole thing. We didn't know anything about challenge groups. We didn't even have challenge packs. It was all, oh, okay, we'll just get people in this group. Of course, we want people to. And, you know, I don't let somebody tell me no right away either. Like, I don't stop at well, I can't afford this. Oh, let me sit down and talk to you for 30 minutes. Tell me you can't afford this. You cannot not afford this, okay? So, but that's where my heart goes into, if you can't afford this, why aren't you coaching? Why not work on your health and fitness and start coaching at the same time? Like, this just doesn't make sense to me. If you're struggling with bills, what are you going to do different that's going to counteract what's happening right now? Because are you just planning on hitting the lottery, or getting an inheritance or something, because that's what really, how many people do that? I don't play lottery. I don't even play lottery. I'm like, I don't even care. Like, why am I going to put $1 into this to have a chance of winning that when I can just create it myself?
Mm.
So people are like, well, if you don't play, you can't win. I'm like, I don't need to win. I'm like, I already won. I don't know what you're talking about. I got victory already. Like, our team is gold. It is priceless. Like, there's nothing that money can't take over what we have here. So let me see here. What was the one other question? So I want to ask you one more question here, and then if you want to wrap it up, let me see in my notes quick here too.
She decided to be good and sleep.
She's always good. What are you talking about? I want to snuggle her.
She is pretty good.
Okay, let's see here. Work with. Okay, so I want to know for you, because usually the most objection that we do here, and I know that I just kind of spit some of that out, but when somebody comes to you and they're like, or you're like, hey, you don't know you want to do this or whatever. Well, I can't afford that. I don't have the money. What specific approach do you take to talk to them about that?
First, I want to preface by saying each situation that you encounter objections is going to be different, and the more you talk to people and deal with those objections, the better you'll get at being able to read which particular situation you are in. That being said, I have dealt with lots of objections and in many different forms. The affordability one, I think getting people to talk about their health, first of all, is very difficult, to get them to let that wall down. Typically, if they comment on one of my posts, or they like one of my posts, or they love it, or they have like a reaction to it, I'll message them and be like, hey, thanks for showing love on my post. Are you on a health and fitness journey of your own? Or I'll ask them, like, are you currently pursuing any particular goals in your health journey? Because we all have a health journey, whether we realize it or not, whether we're purposeful with it or not. So I'll say that, and I'll get them to either say yes or no, I need to, or da 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 da. And we don't even get to the whole cost of things until like the very end. And if they ask you, well, how much is it? Do not start off telling people how much it costs, because all they will hear from that point on is blah blah blah, too expensive. They won't even hear you. So you always want to say, well, I'll get to the cost. It just depends on which package you get. Let me tell you more about this, all the things that you get, and then you really touch on everything. Like, what are you going to do when you get that inspiration, that motivation to okay, I want to get healthy, I want to get in shape? What are you going to do? Well, you're probably going to get a gym membership, because that's what everybody does first. They get a gym membership. Then you're going to probably look into some personal training, some classes. Those will cost you extra. And then you're probably going to look into maybe getting a nutritionist. Maybe you want to go to GNC or vitamin shop or something and get some supplements that someone recommends, some random person will recommend to you. Those are all things that you no longer have to do now with this package. You get, like, it's so crazy. They give you everything you need. You have the personal trainer. You have multiple personal trainers. You have the eating plans. You have the nutrition experts. You have the recipes. You have the meal plans. You have everything that you could possibly need for success. and you really tell them everything that they have, and you show them, you paint that picture for them. And if after that they go, that's too expensive, I always go, I want you to, I did this, I've done it a few times now, and I got it from, what is the gentleman's name? We heard him speak, and he did the thing where he like made you close your eyes and visualize. It was at Summit, and ever since then, that guy really resonated with me. I really can't remember his name right now, and it bothers me. I know his face, and if I saw him though, he did all that, and it was like, wow, this is really powerful. I'm like, I can do that. Like, I speak well enough to be able to paint a picture with my words for people, and I'm like, why haven't I been doing that? And so whenever people say, oh, that's a little bit too expensive for me, I go, I want you to visually, and I sent this in a text, I've sent it in voice, I've sent it multiple different ways, and it's resonated with people every time. I have them visualize yourself, standing in the mirror. You've hit every one of your health and fitness goals. You feel great. Not only do you like the way you look, but you love the way you feel. You love trying on new clothes. You love going shopping for new clothes. You love being able to not have to worry, will this fit or will that fit? You love being able to wake up and not feel like, when you get out of bed. Everybody knows that feeling. You love not passing out at night on the couch because you're not exhausted. You just feel good. You feel the way that you always felt you should feel. You're there. You did it. And I say, what is that worth to you? What if I told you you could have it right now? How much would you pay for that? And they usually reply with, I'd pay anything for that. That's priceless. And I say, but you're letting this 160 stop you right now. And they literally, I'm like 4 for 4 with this visualization thing. They go, all right, hang on, let me do some things and move some stuff around. So it's not that they can't afford it. It's just that they don't see the way in which they can afford it yet. And it's because it's not an urgent thing to them. And it's not an urgent thing to them because they haven't even visualized themselves being the person that they can be with these tools. They don't even know it's possible. They haven't taken the time to even feel that hope. That's sad. You haven't even felt the hope of the kind of person that you can be. And that's what we're here for. We're here for motivation, inspiration, and to help people feel hope again. There's too many people hopeless out here.
That was good. That was good. I'll have to do that sometime because I don't think I've ever done that before. So, awesome. Thank you so much for, taking the time to actually be on the call. And, just thank you for the wisdom and knowledge that you bring for the team and what you've done in your family and what you're doing for your community and everything. Cause that's huge. And it's only going to explode from there. People can sense the family aspect that you guys have. And like you said, it's not just with your family, but it's other people are becoming a part of your family. They're being adopted into this faith over fear. And that's what we need to focus on is, hey, you know what? Like we're all family. Like it's amazing. It is that the community and the tribe of everything. So now, since I'm going to put you on the spot, you said that you're going to start a Super Saturday. So I know one's coming up in October. It might be a little bit.
That's the one we're shooting for.
Are you really?
Yeah.
Like you're shooting for it, or you already visualize, hey, it's going down?
No, it's going to happen. I actually just talked to. I haven't even talked to you about this, Mommy, but I talked to the school about if they're available to rent the gym, and they said they had to talk to the I think it was the principal or some, I don't know who they had to talk to. It was a PTO member I talked to about it. So I looked into possibly renting the gym at the kids' school for a Super Saturday. I think it's a good location.
Have you talked to your church?
I don't think that's the best location, though. I would love to get some fit groups started at my church. I've talked to our priest there. He actually drinks Shakeology too.
That's why I was wondering. I know that in Madison, because Madison's not that far away from here, and they've been exploding, and they do it at a church. They have it at a church, and it's awesome. So I just didn't know if that's an option for you, but yeah, I would definitely do it. And no matter what, I mean, I know like we did one at our home here. Obviously, we couldn't, you know, I mean, there was only so many people that we could invite, but we did one at our home. So I recommend that no matter what, make something happen, even if it's just with you guys and inviting those that are like on that fence of coaching or becoming a challenger and stuff that you can bring in. So
Definitely.
yay, that's exciting. Maybe I'll just have to swing over there one of these times.
Will you do it already? Come on. We'll
I know,
vlog
right?
together. Come on over.
Before the snow hits. I don't know. Michigan's probably the same way as Iowa. It's like 1 minute I don't know if I need to be in a swimsuit, while the next minute I got to have a like winter coat on. It doesn't make any sense at all. I'm like trying to debate on, do I take this out or put this away? Because I don't know how it's.
That's exactly how it is. Yeah. Yesterday I was wearing a like thick hoodie, and today I was out there with just a t-shirt. So who knows? Who knows one day to another.
Awesome. Well, thank you guys for being on the call. And I know it's late, so you guys have a blessed night and be ready for next week. We're going to keep coming up with more people to speak and just bring whatever we can. And so take what you guys learn and apply it into the business and just go out and be a servant, like Jarel said. Have a
Thanks
servant
for having me on here,
Thank
Ashton. I appreciate
you.
it.
Yes.
Yep, thank you.
Have a
Thank
good
you.
night.
All right.
You
Good
too.
night.
Good night.
Bye.